Hi, I'm Dave Anderson. I'd like to tell you about the lifeblood of the economy, this circular flow of money that's paid for goods and services and factors of production.
Households sell factors of production, that is, labor, capital, land, and entrepreneurship, in the factor markets to firms in exchange for factor payments that households receive as income in the forms of wages, rent, interest, and profit. Firms use the factors of production to make goods and services that they sell in the product markets to households in exchange for the money households received as income. We can make this simple model more realistic by adding the government, which collects taxes from households and firms, buys goods, services, and factors of production, and provides goods, services, and transfers of money to individuals and firms. The blue and green line here indicates the combination of monetary transfers represented by the green and goods and services represented by the blue. Consider Lansing, Michigan, where the automaker General Motors can represent the firms. As always, households are the owners of the factors of production. They own the land and capital and provide the labor and entrepreneurship. If your household happens to own stock in General Motors, you are among the owners of General Motors capital that includes the assembly plant in Lansing. For labor, General Motors goes to the factor markets to hire more than 1,500 workers from the households in exchange for wages. The factor markets can be anywhere where factors are bought and sold, including at the General Motors plant and at places like the Employment Advance Employment Agency. The labor travels from the homes to the General Motors plant, where workers and the other factors of production come together to build cars. General Motors sells its cars to households in the product markets, such as at this car dealership. You can find the product markets for many other goods and services in the downtown area. Here's the capital of Michigan, which collects taxes from firms and households. The government uses that money to provide transfers such as subsidies to firms and Social Security payments to households. The government purchases goods and services such as streets and bridges, and currently some repairs on the state capitol building. And the government provides goods and services such as license plates and fire protection. Sometimes a weak economy slows the circular flow down to a trickle. There are many drivers of economic booms and busts. For example, let's go back to the simplest version of this diagram and see how the attitudes of firms and households can influence the economy. When General Motors and other firms get pessimistic and think that sales will decrease in the near future, they hire fewer factors of production and pay less to the households. The households then have less money with which to make purchases from firms in the goods and services markets, so the firms sell less stuff, and their pessimism causes exactly the problem they feared.
What do you think will happen if firms get optimistic and think that sales will increase in the future? Pause the video now if you want to discuss this question before you hear the answer.
When firms get optimistic, they hire more factors of production and pay more to households, which means the households have more money with which to buy more goods and services. Optimism or pessimism on the part of households can similarly help or hurt the economy. For example, when households think bad economic times are coming, they will save more money for a rainy day and spend less, which means firms will sell less, which means they will hire fewer factors of production and pay less to households.
Although the path may become more complicated in real life, it's important to remember the karma lesson from the circular flow diagram. What goes around comes around.